There was a time when I never thought about my hair at all. I could walk into any grocery store, grab the cheapest shampoo on the shelf, and somehow my hair still looked healthy. It had volume back then, strength, movement. I could wash it every day, blow dry it too hot, color it, tie it up tightly, and it always seemed to recover. But sometime after my 50s, I started noticing little things that were difficult to ignore. More hair wrapped around my fingers in the shower, more strands left behind on my pillow in the morning, more scalp showing under bright bathroom lighting. At first, I told myself it was normal. Because aging changes everything, doesn't it? Your skin changes, your energy changes, and eventually, your hair changes too. But what shocked me most was realizing how many products I trusted for years were suddenly making everything worse. The same shampoos I had used for decades started leaving my hair, dry, flat, tangled, fragile, and constantly shedding. And after reading hundreds of reviews from older women online, I realized many of us were experiencing the exact same thing. A lot of mature women are still using shampoos designed for the hair they had at 25 instead of the hair they have now, because aging hair is completely different. After 50, hair usually becomes finer, drier, more delicate, and much easier to damage. The scalp also produces less natural oil over time, which means harsh shampoos become far more aggressive than they used to be. That's why so many women suddenly feel like their hair is falling apart almost overnight. And one of the first shampoos I kept seeing mature women complain about was Pantene Pro V Daily Moisture Renewal. This one surprised me because Pantene has been popular for decades. Many women still buy it out of habit. And honestly, at first it still makes hair feel soft and smooth. But many mature users say that after repeated use, their hair started feeling heavy at the roots, dry at the ends, coated, and harder to style. Several women described their hair looking flatter every month. Others said they noticed much more hair breakage while brushing, and that's an important distinction. A lot of what older women think is hair loss is actually breakage. Mature hair becomes more fragile over time, and heavy silicone-based formulas can start weighing finer hair down badly. One woman wrote that her hair looked shiny for a few hours, but by the next morning it felt lifeless again. And honestly, that cycle sounds exhausting. The shampoo many mature women said worked better instead was L'Oreal EverPure Thickening Shampoo. This brand gets recommended constantly by women over 50 because it feels gentler almost immediately. A lot of women describe finally being able to brush their hair after showering without feeling like they were pulling half of it out. Reviews often mention softer texture, less dryness, reduced breakage, and healthier looking volume. And maybe the biggest difference is that the hair starts feeling lighter again. Not coated, not stiff, just healthier. The second shampoo I kept seeing older women complain about was Head & Shoulders Classic Clean Now. To be fair, this shampoo absolutely helps some people with dandruff. But many mature users said regular use became far too drying for aging hair. Women constantly described their hair becoming rough, frizzy, stiff, and increasingly difficult to style. One woman said her hair no longer felt alive, and honestly, that word stayed with me, because mature hair often doesn't just become thinner, it loses softness, movement, flexibility. It stops framing the face the same way, and harsh anti-dandruff shampoos used too often can make that problem dramatically worse. After 50, the scalp simply doesn't recover moisture the way it used to. So stripping it aggressively week after week can leave mature hair looking older much faster. The shampoo many women switched to instead was Nioxin System Kits. This one appears constantly in conversations about thinning hair after menopause. Not because women suddenly woke up with teenage hair again, but because many said their scalp finally started feeling healthier. Women often describe their hair as lighter, fresher, easier to style, and less flat overall. Several reviewers said their hair finally stopped looking stuck to their head. And honestly, many older women are not looking for miracle regrowth anymore. They just want their hair to stop feeling weak and exhausted. The third shampoo many mature women regretted buying was Suave Essentials Shampoo. This shampoo is extremely cheap and easy to find almost everywhere in America. But many women over 50 said it became far too harsh for their aging hair. Reviews repeatedly mention dryness, brittleness, rough texture, and excessive tangling. One woman said her hair became so fragile that strands started snapping while she was simply putting on a sweater. Another said her ends looked almost transparent under sunlight. And mature hair reaches a point where harsh products don't just affect appearance. They affect confidence, because dry, damaged hair changes the entire face. It changes softness, movement, even how tired someone looks. The shampoo many mature women said worked better instead was OGX Biotin and Collagen Shampoo. This one gets recommended constantly because many users say it makes aging hair feel softer, fuller, and easier to manage without feeling heavy. Women often mention less visible breakage, smoother brushing, and hair looking healthier in everyday lighting. Not perfect hair, not 20-year-old hair, just healthier, mature hair. And honestly, maybe that's the real lesson here. After 50, hair care stops being about perfection. It becomes about preserving softness, comfort, confidence, about still recognizing yourself in the mirror. Because one of the hardest parts of aging is how quietly things change. Not dramatically, just little pieces over time. The thick hair you never appreciated when you were younger, the effortless volume, the feeling of not having to worry every time you washed it. And one day you suddenly find yourself standing under bathroom lighting, checking if your scalp looks whiter than it did last year. A lot of women carry that feeling silently. Because people love talking about aging like it's graceful all the time. But some parts of aging feel deeply personal, especially when your reflection starts changing faster than your heart feels ready for. And no shampoo in the world can completely stop time. But gentler products can absolutely help mature hair feel healthier, softer, and less fragile. Sometimes that small change matters more than people realize. If you enjoyed this video, follow George and Nora Recommend for more honest conversations, trusted products, and everyday advice for adults over 50 trying to age a little more comfortably and a little more confidently.